The Steelers won this week, Steeler Nation, and you know what that means. It's subs for dubs. So celebrate the Steelers win today by subscribing to Steelers Talk right now. What's good, Steeler Nation? My name is Jack Sperry, and this is Steelers Talk. The Steelers got a huge 20-10 victory over the New Orleans Saints at Acrisure Stadium today. We saw a ton of these terrible towels going today. It was glorious. The Steelers just flat out played a gritty game today. They really showed up, especially the defense showed up today. All I can say is that they showed up in those big moments. When they really needed to show up and get those big interceptions late, they did. When Kenny Pickett needed to make the throws in the second half despite being hurt, they did. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren in the run game today, when they needed to have those big runs that we haven't seen all season, and we saw them today. They showed up and showed out there. And although it maybe wasn't the prettiest win of all time, Kenny Pickett maybe didn't play fantastic in this one, I am still very excited for the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers and what lays ahead here, despite some bad news coming into this one, but we'll get into that one. Get into all the action here in just a second, but just to update you guys on the like battle that we did this week with Saints Now, the Saints channel here at Chat Sports, we beat them by over 500 likes, so great job, Steelers Nation. We are now 2-0 on like battles on the year. We did a fantastic job just asserting our dominance in this matchup this week off the field, and then also on the field, we took care of business as well, so great job to you guys for getting those likes on the last two videos this week. So let's get right into my takeaways for this game. Number one is that Kenny Pickett is a dog, all right? He got injured there. I believe it was late in the second. It was either early in the third or late in the second. He had that ankle injury, and he came off, went to the medical tent, and we were wondering if Mitchell Trubisky was going to come in. But he goes out there, and he plays pretty darn well for the rest of the game. Now, it wasn't a perfect stat line for him, right? 18 of 30, no touchdowns, under 200 yards passing. There were some bad throws in the first half. So it wasn't all good today, but I love the toughness and the ability to rise above the moment, being hurt, facing adversity and showing up and getting your team a dub. That's what the Steelers are going to need from Kenny Pickett in the future. And today was his first win as the starter of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's a fantastic milestone for the young gun. I'm very proud of him for the way that he played in that second half, going through that injury. I was very, very excited to see him out there. And no one can do, at this point, no one, not even I, who has criticized Pickett in the past, can deny his toughness. He showed up and he rose above the adversity today of being injured, of giving up that late second half touchdown to make it 10-10. He rose above the moment today, and he did that despite being injured and not being 100%, which is, kudos to Kenny Pickett today, guys. He still has a ways to go before he proves that he is the franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers of the future, but I like some of the things that I saw from him today. He was stepping up in the pocket more than usual. Matt Canada dialed up more crossing routes over the middle, which I liked. So there were some good things in the passing game today, but there's definitely some growth left to be had. But at the end of the day, I got to give my kudos to Kenny Pickett. He was a dog today. All right, now before we get into my other takeaways today, let's have a word from our sponsor at Established Titles. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds, or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Eddleston, Scotland. You're watching a video of it right now, and an official certificate with a crest. They plant a tree with every order and work with global charities such as One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. You could officially become a lord or lady and put it on your credit cards, plane tickets, dating profiles, and more. And it makes a great last-minute gift for the Game of Thrones fan in your family. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot. Guys, I am Lord Sperry, and I am starting Steeler Nation in Eddleston, Scotland. So if you want a piece of that Steeler Nation, you got to be one of the first 200 people to purchase a title pack with our link. And right now, guys, their Black Friday deals are actually insane. They've got like 80% off their title packs right now. And then if you use our link, not only will you get a plot of land next to mine and become a member of Steeler Nation in Scotland, I mean, you're going to get an extra 10% off your order if you use promo code CHAT. So it's really a great deal. If there's a Game of Thrones fan in your family, Heart of the Dragon fan, The Crown, anywhere where this kind of language is used, where they use lords or ladies, it's a perfect gift for that person in your family. So if you want to get a great gift for that person in your family, go to establishtiles.com/chat and put promo code CHAT in there to get an extra 10% off their already discounted prices. All right, number 2 on my list is that we have a run game now, guys. It finally happened. It finally happened that we had some explosive runs. We were running it up the middle. We were running power concepts. Najee Harris was bloody brilliant in this one. 99 yards, 36 long. He had that one really long run. He looked way better today, guys. Before, it seemed like he was being a bit timid, like he was dancing around. He kind of wanted to make that big play. But today, he stuck his foot in the ground. He put his nose to the grindstone, and he ran through the Saints defense, which is something that we've been waiting for all season long. And it was by far his best day of the season, in my opinion. And then Jalen Nailor was also great as well. I mean, Matt Canada was dialing up more like trap actions, more power run schemes, and this is the stuff I've been calling for weeks, and they finally implemented it this week, and lo and behold, it worked. This is an offensive line that is built to run a power run scheme. We've been running way too many zone run schemes lately, and this week we finally converted to, we still ran quite a bit of zone, but we ran more power, more trap, more of these other schemes that our offensive line is more built to run, and lo and behold, it was pretty darn good. It was the best element of the offense today by far. And at the end of the day, I'm really excited to see what this combination of Harris and Warren can do for the rest of the season, because they played really well today. I'm very excited to see what they can do in the future. Number 3 on my list is no Minka, no problem. So here's kind of like the injury update of the day. Since our last video, Minkah Fitzpatrick had to have emergency surgery on his appendix to remove his appendix on Saturday. And he's expected to miss multiple weeks because of this. I mean, that kind of surgery is very serious, guys. It's going to take multiple weeks for him to come back. And until the time being, Diontae KZ, who came back from injury this week, will play free safety while he's away. And quite frankly, guys, Diontae KZ played pretty darn good today. For someone that hasn't played football in a while, coming off a major injury, being thrown into such a crucial role in the Steelers' defense, I thought he played great. I thought he played really well for somebody that's coming off all those things. And I think from now on, I think Pitt's defense is going to survive. I think it's going to survive without Minka. I don't think it's going to be as big of an impact as T.J. Watt out of the lineup. With T.J. Watt out of the lineup, this defense was not very good. Let's just say what it was. The pass rush wasn't getting home. The cornerbacks couldn't hold their assignments there in coverage. Now with Minkah Fitzpatrick out, however, Diontae KZ is good enough to take that role, and we still have that really good pass rush with T.J. Watt. And I still think, when Minka comes back, watch out, okay? If you thought the defense was good today, watch what comes when Minkah Fitzpatrick is back and Diontae KZ can play that free safety in nickel packages, and Minkah Fitzpatrick is going to be able to roam as that nickel star player, just fucking shit up the way that he does when he's in the game. So whenever he's back, this defense is going to go to an even higher level, but it was obvious that this defense was just so much better today with T.J. Watt in the lineup. But before we get into that point, like this video right now to wish Minkah Fitzpatrick a speedy recovery from his surgery. Guys, he's one of the core pillars of this defense, of this team. And right now, we just got to give him our support while he recovers. So like this video right now to give our love and support to number 34. All right, number 4 on my list is that the pass rush is back. It is back just like T.J. Watt is. And T.J. Watt, you could just feel the amount of energy that the defense was playing with the terrible towels flying in the crowd, with all the energy that the defense was playing with. The pass rush only had 2 sacks today, but you could really feel the impact that the pass rush was having on Andy Dalton and his decision-making, particularly in the second half. And, Dalton was getting rid of it, but he wasn't really getting rid of it in a good way. He was putting it into pressurized situations, covered receivers, and at the end of the day, I really liked the pressure that T.J. Watt was allowed to put on a defense. And then also with the double teams that he was attracting, it opened up opportunities for Cam Hayward and Alex Highsmith. And when that is allowed to happen and those three guys are allowed to cultivate a pass rush, it's really something to watch. It's really one of the best pass rushes in the National Football League, in my opinion. And I'm really excited to see what this team can do, what this defense can do now that T.J. Watt, one of the best pass rushers in football, is back in that lineup. Finally, guys, my last takeaway is that the playoffs aren't dead for the Steelers. Now, it's unlikely, but the playoffs are still in reach. Let's take a look at the rest of the Steelers' schedule, the final 8 games. Next week, you got the Bengals with a bad offensive line and with our pass rush. I mean, we beat them in week 1. We could beat them again next week. Then the Colts are a mess. The Falcons are a mess. I think the Ravens, you could maybe split between those two. And then the Panthers, Raiders, and Browns are all winnable games as well. So throughout the last 8 games, I think we have 7 winnable games left on the schedule. And if the Steelers can really run that table, win every winnable game left on their schedule, then with the quality of opponent that they're playing, the Raiders, the Colts, the Falcons, the Panthers, there's some really beatable teams here, guys, and I think the Steelers will definitely get more than a couple W's before the end of the season. The big question is going to be, can they stay consistent enough to win 7 out of the last 8 games? Now, that's a big question. I'm not sure, but they could, in theory, finish with a 10-7 record and put themselves in position to get a wild card spot in the playoffs, because I think the Ravens and Bengals are just too talented within the division to really win the division outright. I don't think 9-8 is going to get the job done in terms of making the playoffs. You got to win 7 out of your last 8 games to make the playoffs. But the good news for the Steelers is that the schedule is extremely, extremely workable. It's workable to get 7 out of 8 if they're consistent enough. If Kenny Pickett shows some really good things, the defense continues to dominate, then the Steelers have a shot. But it's unlikely, guys. I'm just going to say that right now. Winning 7 out of 8 is a difficult thing to do in the National Football League, even with the best teams in football. So, I mean, you look at the Steelers that have started the season 3-6. Is this really a team that's going to be able to go 7 out of 8? I'm not too sure. It's possible. It's not impossible to make the playoffs this year, but it's still an unlikely proposition at this point, in my opinion. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are the Steelers' playoff hopes still alive at 3-6 at this point? Type Y if you think yes. Type N for no. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So whenever there's an ad break, go into the comment section and give your answer to this question. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's show. I appreciate you, Steeler Nation. It was a huge win for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the black and gold. Get those terrible towels going today. Enjoy the win. And until next time, peace, guys.